Hi, my name is Joanna Whitney. I'm an intuitive artist and a student of natural law. And I'm going to talk about the first principle of natural law, which is mentalism, and how that equates to the 7-day mental diet, which I'm going to put in the description so that you can get the 7-day mental diet from my website. The 7-day mental diet was written by Emmett Fox. I'm not sure when that is, probably the turn of the century. He was a pastor in the Unity. Well, he was claimed by the Unity school of Christianity, but at the time that he was preaching, Unity didn't exist. So he was just an independent. And I would consider him a Christian mystic because he was able to derive things out of the Bible that aren't there. And the 7-day mental diet is something that I did in about 2007, and it changed my life so much that I really recommend that anybody who wants to have an experience try that 7-day mental diet. It isn't really something that I was able to do any more than 7 days. I was actually able to do it, however, and in the document that it is discussed in, it talks about how if you fail during the time of the 7 days, you actually have to start over again. You have to actually wait a day and then start over again. I did not actually have to do that, gratefully. So what it does is it cleanses your mind of all negative thoughts, and it kind of gives you a baseline. So for me, I had a tremendously bad habit of mental negativity. And I didn't really think that it caused problems for me. I felt justified, and I also felt that I had to prepare myself for the worst case scenario, and just in case the worst case scenario happened, so that I wouldn't be devastatingly disappointed in what happened to me. But slowly over time, using the 7-day mental diet and then other works of Emmett Fox, I have come to discover that, in fact, my negative thinking produced a very, very melancholy way of living for myself. And that by trying to have an attitude of gratitude instead, I am available for opportunities that I would not have been available for otherwise. I was so negative before I did this that friends basically told me they didn't want to be around me anymore because they couldn't stand how negative I was. And I kind of celebrated my negativity by being the most sarcastic person that I could be. And I was bitingly sarcastic because it really was pretty much the only thing I felt that I could do well, was to, make up the worst possible case scenario and make it funny. But people didn't really see it as funny. They just found me to be impossible to be around. So I think that was another thing that I wasn't even aware of, that people just didn't want to be around me. So I lost a lot of opportunities by being the negative queen. So how the 7-day mental diet came to me was very serendipitous, and I did not seek it out. It just happened to fall into my lap because I got a book by Emmett Fox from the library, and in the front of the book there was instructions by the person who had owned the book before they donated it to the library, and it suggested that you go directly to the 7-day mental diet. And I decided to follow those instructions, and I tried the 7-day mental diet, and it basically changed my entire life. It was almost like Drano in my calcified negative brain. So that as a result of doing that, I was able to have a choice about whether or not I spiraled into extreme negativity or not. And as a result of not having to go to extreme negativity, I noticed that I felt better emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally as a result of not going to extreme negativity. And so I had that choice, and then I started to not go there. As you will see in the document, if you read it, it's not that you're not going to think a negative thought, because or even witness negative discussion, or be in a place where people are talking negatively. What you're going to do in that 7-day period is that, number one, you're going to avoid crowds of negative talk. So no, don't listen to the news or anything like that. And don't be around anybody who discusses negative things for that 7 days. But if you happen to catch a negative thought, what you're going to do is you're just going to flick it off like you would if a spark flew out of the fire and landed on your shirt, so that it doesn't create a hole and then fray the whole fabric of the shirt so that you would have to throw it away. What you would do is you would catch the negative thought flying out of the fire, land on your shirt, and flick it off by saying something to yourself that you believe, like all is well. And then you would walk away from the conversation quickly. And but the thing is for someone like myself, I had to be on top of this all the time because I had so much negative thoughts going through my head automatically, and I wasn't even aware of it. What I had discovered prior to this exercise was that I would be fine. I would be feeling good, and then suddenly I would be feeling bad. And I had no idea why, but I had noticed that upon observing myself, I had had a negative thought, which had produced negative emotions. And so I was able to jive with the idea of doing the diet, because I knew that I had a terrible mental habit of negativity. And how this relates to the first law of natural law, mentalism, is that, and this is in the Kabbalion, which you can get online or you can get at the bookstore or whatever. The Kabbalion states that the first principle of natural law is mentalism, which means basically that the all, God, the creator, is mental. And there's a whole chapter about this, which I'm not going to get into, but if by chance we were actually made in the image of the creator, that would mean that our mental capacity would be creative. So therefore, it would be nice if we had a habit of positivity rather than negativity, because if my mind is creative, then I do create my reality with my thoughts.